just through feeling it, we can move the energy through, just through feeling the energy, just through embodying it, like I just told you. That if you had self-hate within you, you could feel that energy and allow it to be felt. You could accept it. Maybe you hate yourself, and maybe you can say, okay, there is a part of myself that hates myself. Maybe it's not all of you that hates yourself. Maybe it's just part of you that can feel this energy of self-hate. And so because you can feel this self-hate, it's accosting you. It can lead you into pools of self-sorrow, doubt, and pain, worry, strife in some way. This is a feeling that then is not accepted by your system, and so it's not allowed to pass through you without being noticed. It's not allowed to pass through you like the wind. Maybe there was a time when this feeling was judged, when self-hate was judged, when it was thought bad or wrong to have self-hate in some way. That if you are to be hating yourself, you're an awful, evil individual, and so nobody should be doing this. And if you were to do this, it would mean something negative about you in some way. And so this could cause the retraction of self-hate's energy. And now at first there may be no self-hate present. And most likely, some type of fear had to have been possible, obviously, and then in that moment projected and reflected, identified with, and then taken on to, agreed with. Like in the book The Four Agreements, we've made many agreements throughout life, and we can choose to disagree with these and find out what is true throughout the rest of our lives if we ever come into the wisdom that shows us this in a way that accurately persists in our reality to show us that it is a true wisdom, and that is then beneficial for us to apply. Only when we see it to be a benefit will we apply it. Otherwise, if we don't see it, it makes no sense for us to apply it. Why would we apply it? Makes perfect sense, obviously. People are quite intelligent and logical with their decisions, and so if you haven't been able to reach a friend or a family member, then you haven't been able to speak their language in a way that made them feel respected, that allowed them to soften their ego and their frequency to take on new information, and also that they may be somebody who is very triggered and afraid and having many other accosting frequencies that need to be worked with first before going to that extreme direct point of focus you may be wishing them to go to. We have to be patient with one another and understanding that everybody is growing at a different pace, and that we are moving through different energies than one another, but we are equal in every way. And so even though you may think that you are higher in advancement, they are working on other energies than you are. They are working on other realizations and articulations for the whole of consciousness, unique avenues of focus, unique learnings. That's learning for the entire body of consciousness, not just for one piece, but for all of us. And so we're all doing a very amazing thing here. And whenever we come to awareness of what's happening with our energy, then we have a person we're attached to, we can have compassion. We have compassion for them in some way, to either judge them or whatever it is. We could also turn our judgment, compassion, to awareness compassion, and share our awareness in whatever way possible. If we care about them a lot, then we won't share it in only the language in which we think it should be shared, because they must be smart like us and talk like us. We can share it in the language in which they're able to understand. And so if we first say a language that they can't understand, let's try another language that maybe they can understand. And be patient, be understanding. Don't be judgmental of them for their lack of ability to understand. You maybe could be judgmental of you for your lack of ability to immediately harmonize with them in a way that they can understand. But there's no reason to judge yourself either. We're all learning and growing. And so go ahead and say another one, say another one, say another one. If you lose ability to do that, then you'll go ahead and bow out. Do whatever you need to do. We don't have to be predatory or harsh with each other, but we can be as well. Authenticity is a necessary key. And so there's ways to see when we're attacking and defending from a place of insecurity, anxiety, fear, and doubt within ourselves. And so we're defending and protecting ourselves and lashing out at one another. Or if we're being in a way like a stern father or mother that's really caring about their child in a really super loving manner and wants them to not stick that knife inside the socket because they could get shocked and hurt. They can't actually die. People say that you died. Maybe you can. If you have maybe you can. If you have a heart problem or something. For me, though, I can't be killed by the socket. But maybe somebody with a different system biology could. So always be mindful and aware of how we are different. And so we don't have to project ourselves onto others. Like I'm a specific being, you're a specific being. We can all find out how each other are. If somebody's telling you to do something because they think you're like them, and they don't know that you're not like them, go ahead and share with them what you are like. so that they have the ability to harmonize with you, who you are. Most people are very much into that. Unless you attack them, then they're like, oh, you're not liking me, why would I like you? Now, if everybody's respectful of one another, there's no reason for nobody to want to be respectful of you. Even if at first they're a little defensive because they're not used to things changing, so they're kind of in a control pattern of expectation because they're like, hey, I thought we were going to do this. You can always, be like, hey, and still in a strong way. Just state the truth, though. You don't have to attack or defend. You don't have to be like, hey, you're a bitch, fuck you. You can just be like, hey, this is what's going on with me. I'm very sorry. And whatever else. Sometimes we don't like to apologize. We think it makes us sorry. This funny spiritual whatever. I'm sorry means that I'm a sorry individual or something. But for me, I'm an intelligent individual. I understand dialogue and consciousness. I understand English. I understand how we say things. I understand that when I say I'm sorry, I'm saying I apologize. And so you could say that I am not saying I apologize when I say I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you can say that I'm saying that I'm a sorry individual, but that's your projection on your reality. That's your judgment. That's whatever, For you, you will receive the frequency of that judgment. And for me, I will not receive that frequency of that judgment. I may receive you reflecting that judgment at me when you say that, but still, in a way, I will not have received your judgment in a manner because I will immediately, authentically express about it. And for me, it is a great benefit to be able to express immediately in the moment as the moment, without hesitation, with spontaneity, and allow the moment to unfold as it does, without my control, without my manipulation, without my standard of observation deciding what's right or wrong for this, that, or the other. As what that does, and that allows me to see how the moment brings upon the perfect frequency for the meeting that I'm in. Maybe I didn't know that person needed this. Maybe I didn't know that person needed that. I thought that person needed me to be happy and beautiful and liked by them forever. But actually, that person needed not the enabling of their frequency to live in their suffering for all eternity. It needed something to be like, hey, that's a hole you're falling in. Stop falling in it. Or here, at least, is the awareness that it's a hole. Can you not even tell or what's going on? And we hold each other to accountability when we love one another. What would you do for your family member? You would not do it for your friends or a stranger. But if it was my little sister fucking up on the street out here, being a meth addict tweaker, what would I do? I would fucking stop that little girl. But somebody asked me if it was my mother out here going crazy, what I would do. I would never let my mother do that. I don't care what you say. I don't care if I'm surrendered to consciousness or not. Well, I say that. But actually, the sad thing is, if consciousness didn't let me move to my mother, it would be a very traumatic and sad thing for me, and I would be very confused. The compassion that would compel me at that time, it seems like there's no amount of energetic momentum from any karma around that would stop me from being able to make the ground between me and my mom, who is naked running around a community of individuals because she's become a meth addict tweaker on the beach. It'd be insane. I'd be like, what the fuck, man? I couldn't do it myself. I love my mother. It's interesting though, as I say this, it's like treating everybody in that way. What in the world, could you do, really, for anybody, Can I go around to every person on the beach right now that's doing that and stop them from doing what they're doing? I mean, they're choosing what they're choosing. They're doing what they're doing. So I'm happy that my mother's not in these ways, because I don't know how difficult that would be for me, Obviously, thank goodness my mother's not in this way, is how I can feel like that, I was brought to release attachment of all my friends and family, but still this reflection, if it would ever present itself, would be so difficult, to not do something, some way. And I guess some people, there's not a lot I could do. For my mom, what could I do? I would bring her over here. She'd sleep in this tent. I'd be so confused. I would have so much to say to myself. They'd be so crazy. I'm not really sure where we're all going with this exactly, but it's just interesting, our responsibility for each other, for one another, the love we have for each other. We can't stop anybody from doing anything, and everything is perfect. It's funny, as I say this, it's like, I guess, in some way, it may be a very high practice for me just to think of it as perfect. Like, oh, that's my mother. I'll be moved to compassion. What do you mean? She's going crazy. She's losing her mind. She needs help. She needs people to take kindly towards her. And it's obvious. So if I saw my mom stumbling in a hole, I wouldn't let her stay in that hole, my mom. If I see you stumbling in a hole, I'll give you the key to get out of that hole. But I cannot stop you. For my mother, I know all the avenues to get her where she needs to go. And I have every entitled right inside of me, I feel like, to grab her forcefully and make her listen to me. But maybe I don't. I don't actually grab things in that way, I'm not actually aggressive in that way, so it would be so hard, But at the very least, if you cannot stop her, if she is so crazy, it's like a wild animal or something, look out for her some, give her awareness. Maybe you are so dedicated to the flow you can't. But if you ever did see your mother like this, you'd at least surely say something to her, before you had to continue on your way. Maybe you've let her go. She is the same as everyone else, but, say something, I do the best that I can. For me, my mother, she would have the ability to receive from me better than other people that don't know me. So it'd be probably easier if it was with my mother for me to be able to bring a channel through to her. Because other people do not know me, and they may be very confronted by me or something. And I could be doing this all my life as well, every day, going around every day. And there's no reason to do this either. It would be emergency. If I saw my mom, it would be an emergency energy that moved me, like a great form of like unease that would move. Like, oh no, like it might be my greatest obscuration. Like, oh no, you're sitting by the Bodhi tree and now here comes your crazy mother. Oh no, mom, no, I gotta get up on this tree. How can I realize all of consciousness for the benefit of all beings? My mother. Oh, I guess that I just have to let you go, mom. I'm sorry. But if you were here and I saw you, I would stop it. It's just there. I mean, what do we? Come on. Unless consciousness didn't let me. Mom, no, if I didn't, that consciousness didn't let me. And that I love you and that you're perfect and it's gonna be okay. I don't have any judgment. I'm sure whatever you have to go through is what you need to go through. I hope this is not the karma for you, but in some way, if it is the karma that you need, then in some way I would hope actually that you get it. Because then it would be what you needed. And I always hope that everybody gets what they need, that they are able to be free. We could wait forever to not get what we need, and then finally, just one time, get our little shot in the arm. Funny as you might be thinking I'm talking about vaccines for COVID. I don't give a fuck about that. But it was funny to get a little shot in the arm, and then it's done. Okay, there we go. Oh, we got a medicine. I'll just talk about medicine though, I don't promote vaccination. I don't demote it either. You do whatever you want. Be free with your body. Be free with your consciousness. Be free with your mind. If you think it's beneficial, then do what you think is beneficial. If you don't think it's beneficial, then do what you think is beneficial. Not a big deal. I hope that you cannot fight one another. I hope you don't look at each other and think you're a scum because you have this and you're a scum because you don't have that. I hope that we can all just love each other as we are and accept each other as we are. If you feel like people are dangerous and everything, I can understand that as a very big reason to want to protect yourself and want to fight, and especially if you're caring for your family members and all of these things. But we can say with the vaccine that it is proven, or it is said by even the officials, that it does not prevent the spread of COVID. It does not stop you from getting COVID. But from a lady's perspective, an Uber ride we took, or a Lyft ride that we took, she said that it does prevent the severity of symptoms, so it can help you deal with it if you get it better. So if you do get it, you'll be able to maybe get it, be able to get through it easier. Says the literature, the dialogue being spread. So really, there's just no reason to be upset with anybody for not getting it, because you're not at any higher risk for them not getting it, and you're not at any lower risk if they do get it. And so it's really just not a big deal. And anybody who has the vaccine, I mean, there's just no reason to be upset with them for having the vaccine. I mean, why would you care about them more than they care about themselves, or whatever it is? You're upset. You think that they've got something that's going to destroy them, and you're mad at them about it. Like, oh, you got this thing that's going to destroy. Well, the damage is done. It seems as though you know, there's not a lot of reports saying there's actual damage, and so I can imagine, you know, maybe there's not actual damage, so there's no real reason for us to worry about it, you know, in any way.